So for this problem, again, we're trying to find out, well, all the answers are asking us, um, you know, that the function is decreasing for different conditions. So we know that the function is decreasing if f prime of x is less than 0. That makes it for a decreasing interval. So they give us f prime of x, and they tell us that it's this, and I don't really need to worry about that. I'm really mainly interested in this right here, where they factored it for us. So x minus a times x plus a, and I need to find out where is that going to be negative. And it does say that a is a positive constant. So I'm looking at my first scenario, and it says, well, x is between negative a and a. If x is between negative a and a, then, and all of them say the same thing. They take this condition right here that's right after the 4, and then they just say because f prime of x is less than 0. Well, we already know that we're looking for f prime of x less than 0. We'll deal with this one at the very end because it's f double prime of x. So I'm looking for where does f prime of x equal 0. And what I did was I just said, well, let's just let a equal a positive constant, and I said 5, okay? And when I did that for part A here, I said, okay, x is greater than negative a, but less than a. So I said if a is 5, that would mean that x is less than 5, but greater than negative 5. So it's between those two numbers. And then I kind of looked at this and I said, well, let's call x negative 4. So I called x negative 4. And I said, okay, negative 4 minus 5, well, that's going to get me a negative number. And negative 4 plus 5, that's going to get me a positive number, and a positive times a negative is going to be a negative. So I kind of thought that might be my answer right there, because that's what I'm looking for. F prime of x is less than 0. But I figured I better check the other ones too. So this is A. Let's take a look at B. Well, B, it says x is less than negative a and x is greater than positive a. Well, but that's kind of impossible, right? Because if a is a positive integer, it can't be less than negative a. So I can't have x is less than negative a, but at the same time x be greater than a. That doesn't make any sense if a is a positive integer. So that whole thing is impossible. So B is out as an answer. And then I looked at this, for all x's less than 0. Well, if a is a positive integer, x just has to be less than 0. What if x is like negative 100? So if x is negative 100, then x minus a is going to be negative, and x plus a is going to be negative, or certainly could be negative. It depends on what number we figure out for a. And a negative times a negative is a positive, so that doesn't really fit. And then if I look at D, and I kind of felt bad about this because we haven't learned about the second derivative yet. But the second derivative, it decides whether something is what we call concave down or concave up. The second derivative is the rate of change in the first derivative. And if it's less than 0, that means it is concave down like a frown. And if it's down like a frown, then part of it at least could be increasing, and that doesn't work for us. So I got to the answer being A.